Well, hello, and thanks for watching another episode of News of the Pews, where you can count on unapologetic 2A advocacy. Gun rights are human rights. Well, Congress has been sent back to the drawing board after the Supremes unanimously told them that smoking a left-handed cigarette does not permanently transform a man into a deranged lunatic. So, congressional researchers are laying out options for rewriting 922G3 to target addicts, current intoxication, particular drugs, or require individualized proof of dangerousness. But Congress can't just play Mad Libs with the same unconstitutional sentence and swap out a few terms randomly to wash their hands of it. Whatever they write still has to pass the Bruin test, which means the government needs a relevant historical tradition to lean on. And the historical laws in question never punished anyone merely for having a thing, but rather for behavior which was actually harmful. They banned guns for people who were actively drunk or terrorizing the populace. And that is a whole different kettle of fish from disarming someone merely because he had a gummy last Thursday. And I want to be perfectly clear. Anyone who genuinely cannot be trusted with a firearm should be locked up. If you want to argue that a person who's addicted to meth is too dangerous to trust with a gun, I might be inclined to believe you. But I'll insist that person should be confined to an inpatient treatment program if you really believe they can never own a gun. Because if he is too dangerous to trust with a gun, he's too dangerous to trust with a car, gasoline, or a kitchen knife. But hey, it would be impossible for me to produce quality 2A propaganda without you. That's right. I don't have any sponsors, so I literally could not make this content without your generous support. So if you are in a comfortable place in life, please consider supporting this channel by purchasing one of these sick t-shirts for just $15. Or maybe one of these rad stickers, mugs, or magnets is more your speed. But whether you buy merch or donate directly at the links down there in the doobly-doo, and of course right here, your help is what keeps this thing going, and I am incredibly grateful for your generous support. But if you're not in a comfortable place, please don't feel pressured. You don't owe anyone else a thing. Just enjoy this 2A propaganda at the price of free $99 and continue to pray for us. Y'all know that I try to keep this channel focused narrowly on gun rights, but it is no secret I hate government surveillance with a fiery passion of 1,000 suns. Whether it's DHS wholesale spying on all Americans and reporting gun-related purchases to cops in authoritarian states, or local construction sites that use web-connected and AI-enabled cameras to secure work sites while also tracking tag numbers and faces, this dystopian cyberpunk corpo-gov is building an inescapable digital panopticon that catalogs every minute detail of our lives. I'ma keep it a honey bun with you. I honestly believe the reason the Founding Fathers codified our rights to privacy in the Constitution was essentially to legalize victimless crime. That is, they wanted to make it nearly impossible for local tin pot despots to punish people who didn't cause no trouble. I just think they were kind of gangsta like that, considering they shot people in the face over a 3% tax on tea, but that's neither here nor there.
But that's not important right now.
Gun owners, hell, Americans in general, tend to be a cantankerous lot, and we instinctively dislike government surveillance. Gun owners understand immediately that flock cameras and the countless similar surveillance packages are a digital eye of Sauron. The fact that police have access to millions of live camera feeds and databases containing a detailed record of where you have been by your plate number, facial recognition, and the MAC address of your phone is incredibly unsettling on its face. But when you stop to consider that this spatial record exists for everyone and is only growing, it occurs to you that it functions as a registry of everyone who has even visited a gun shop. And that's before all the pre-crime hypothetical crap they could get up to. So it's not surprising there is a lot of well-deserved public hatred for Flock, but it is remarkable that the outrage has been enough to get LAPD to allow its Flock contract to expire. Good. Unplug the peeping clanker. And if you agree on that point, perhaps you would also enjoy my Flocky's Retirement Plan t-shirt, available for just $15 right here. Here. But wearing t-shirts isn't enough. The best way to stop surveillance is to follow your council critters and bear to their cars and write down their tag numbers. Then FOIA every record produced by the camera system associated with those tag numbers. Same for every police cruiser in town. Because just sawing them down costs the taxpayer when they go back up, even if they do contain enough scrap value to pay for more than one angle grinder at Harbor Freight. Now, spraying them with silly string only means that a salaried employee who's already on shift has to go out and wipe it off. So, theoretically less cost to the taxpayer. I'm kidding, of course. Don't do that either. We want to get these things removed and affirm in court that LLM analysis and tracking of our movements is a gross Fourth Amendment violation. Bootlickers say, there's no expectation of privacy in public, but I'd point out there's also no expectation of a cop tailing me everywhere I go and making notes of where I stop. If that was a human cop following me around, courts would roundly reject it. Now, I know I'm preaching to the choir when it comes to those flocking spy cameras, but I do have a bone to pick with some of you, because one place I've noticed a few gun owners suddenly turn into unpaid sales reps for the surveillance state is ShotSpotter. Friends, even if it worked, I would still be against government surveillance, but it's a dumpster fire of flaming poo. A Chicago analysis, which of course I will link to down there in the doobly-doo, as is my custom, found that a shocking 90% of ShotSpotter deployments produced no evidence of a gun-related crime, and 86% proved no evidence of any crime at all. It can trigger from all sorts of loud noises, loud vehicle exhaust, firecrackers, people slamming a dumpster lid, but from the perspective of the innocent person who suddenly has 3 heavily armed cops pouring out of a cruiser with their adrenaline pumping because they earnestly believe there's murder afoot, the distinction is academic. Somebody is about to get thrown to the ground, searched, and interrogated. The alert doesn't tell the cops, maybe a raccoon knocked over a trash can. It tells them shots were fired. They arrive expecting an armed criminal, heart pumping, and looking for someone to blame. That creates dangerous encounters with people who did absolutely nothing wrong. So that scumbag New Jersey AG, Matthew Plankton, is at it again. He's got big feels about a guy in Pennsylvania who sold legal items to people in Pennsylvania. No, seriously. New Jersey is suing a Pennsylvania retailer for selling parts kits in Pennsylvania because they didn't check to see if their customers were from other states. But the fun part is the authoritarians aren't even alleging any laws were broken. Instead of proving Jordan Vinrow committed a crime, the state filed a civil public nuisance suit against the gun show operator. The state wants money because it claims it spent resources dealing with kits New Jersey residents brought into New Jersey. State lines are not an expansion pack for your jurisdiction. If New Jersey can bankrupt a Pennsylvanian for a lawful transaction because somebody later carried the product across the Delaware River, that means New Jersey law follows every product around the country like herpes, and that's just not how things work. And lastly, with another entry in the very cautiously optimistic files, ATF wants to define willfully. Under the poopy pants regime's zero tolerance policy, ATF diluted that standard in practice until honest errors and typos could threaten a dealer's livelihood. The new proposal says a willful violation requires intentional conduct and actual knowledge that the conduct is unlawful. Repeated violations can be evidence and deliberate ignorance still counts, but checking the wrong box twice does not automatically become intentional. Of course, we all agree we'd rather repeal the Gun Control Act and turn ATF headquarters into a Buc-ee's, but within the stupid system we have, willfully cannot mean the inspector found a typo. I think this is probably a real improvement, and you have until August 6th to submit a comment on it. But I'd like to hear what people smarter than me say on it once you get down into the details, so please comment below. Well, friends, rounds complete on 2, but before I get to your moment of completion, I'd like to remind you this program was made possible by contributions from the William H. Crocker Foundation, E. Senior, Ozark Pilgrim, Squirted Glizzies, and viewers like you. I love you.
Walking alone in the woods when you come across a strange man? Can't find a bear to help protect you?
Nah, fuck you, bitch.
Sounds like you need to concealed carry.